So why does it seem that when prophetic word about cryptocurrency, it's been released, and then it seems to take a lot of time for it to be achieved? Why is it that when the prophetic word is perceived in the spirit, it speaks urgency, and then after the urgency of the word and it is spoken, and then it seems there is a lot of delay into achieving those prophetic words? This is what I want to talk about today. For those of us that are into cryptocurrency, investment, and stuff like that, if you look at the story of the time of Noah, there was a prophetic word of a flood, and you can see it took almost 100 years in order for that prophetic word to come to fulfillment. It's about 120 years for it to come into fulfillment, and there was a reason for that. But I'm not going to use that as a yardstick for what I'm about to tell you. But let me tell you something about the forms of the prophetic prophecies, or the forms of the prophetic that many people are not aware. Now, first of all, there are two major forms of the prophetic word in terms of prophecies that are conditional and prophecies that are unconditional. And I'm not going to be teaching about that. I've done teaching about that, just that my YouTube channel has been deleted, so I'm using a different YouTube channel. So some of those messages are gone, but we'll find a way to figure it out. But listen to me and listen attentively. Now, sometimes there are prophecies that are meant for the public, and there are prophecies that are personal prophecies, and there are prophecies that are made for private groups. So you can give it a category as you are led in your heart. Now, there are prophetic words that are meant for the public. And when a prophetic word is meant for the public, there are two options to it. It can be prevented, or it might not be prevented. It can be prevented if the people cry out to the Lord and seek for help. It can be prevented. Sometimes it will not be prevented. You will have to find a measure on how to survive. We saw that in the book of Genesis when there was a prophecy about the famine that was coming to the land. It was not something that can be prevented, but it was something that they can make preparation around, right? And then we have the private prophecy where God speaks to you personally, right, to invest in a particular project. That is God speaking to you as an individual. He doesn't want it to be public. And then when you invest, you make a lot of profit, and then you wish you had told your friends, but that was something that was personal to you. And then you have the private group kind of prophecy. I just tagged it that way. A private group kind of prophecy, a prophecy given to you to speak to maybe just a group of people, to tell to a group of friends, to invest in it, or to tell to a group of personnel that the Lord is leading you to tell, to invest into it because of what he wants to do. You see, this kind of prophecy that are personal, private, often moves very fast. Sometimes one of the problems we have in terms of prophecy is that sometimes a prophetic word is personal, and then we bring it out in the public, and then it doesn't work, and then we are worried. Now, let's say, for example, there are prophetic words that are just meant for believers. Now, the moment it's just meant for believers, we don't have a way to give this prophetic word just to the believers, right? And then we have unbelievers that are also knowing that God speaks through us, but they are not believers. So they just listen to what God is saying through us. And because of the time frame and traction that they have had on how God has been confirming his word through our mouth, they know that what God is saying to us is true, even though they are not of the same faith with us. So one of the things that happened in this situation is that when that prophetic word was meant, for example, a prophetic word that was meant for just believers, and then we say it in the public. Now that we have said it in the public, it is open to the public. So the unbelievers will also invest. And when the unbeliever invests in that prophetic word, or adding to that prophetic word, or take a move concerning that prophetic word, one of the things that happen is that there will be a delay. Why is there a delay? Because some people that were not meant to be part of the move have joined the move. So one of the things the Lord will often do is now to test your faith. Yeah. So how will God test your faith? You see, what was supposed to happen maybe in the next 3 months, God will delay it to see how many who are going to believe and stand strong in that faith. And then that delay can happen in the next 2 years, can happen in the next 3 years. But that word that he has given to the servant will definitely come to pass. But then there will be delay, because a lot of people have gotten into the ark that were not meant to be part of the ark. Now, I'm not saying that now. That's why I said I don't want to use the scenario of the ark, because the ark was open for everyone, both believers and unbelievers. However, in order for you to be part of the ark, you must believe in the ark. You must believe that what God said is true, and that ark is the only way of saving you. But when I say both unbelievers and believers, I want you to understand that he was talking about those who didn't believe will now later believe, and those who are already believers are already in the ark. So you get the context of what I'm teaching here. I'm trying as much as possible this video not to be long. So one of the things that happened is that now, because that thing has happened, the shaking will happen. There will be a delay to see how many of us believe in the word of the Lord. And only those that believe in the word of the Lord will be able to enter into whatever he has planned for his people. people. Just like the Bible said that only those that endure to the very last will be saved, right? So one of the things that happens is that when it is public, and then people begin to get involved in it, and then God will now test the heart of those who believe in the prophetic word. And then it might take 1 year, it might take 2 years. And then when the time comes, the sure word that the Lord has declared will definitely come to fulfillment. And then it will seem that those who are not able to wait to the very end will lose out. And those who are able to wait and endure, that believe in the prophetic word, will enter into rest. So this is one of the things that you need to know about the prophetic, right? So I'm going to teach more, but hold this. Shalom.